Hi, Best Buds. It's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. Today, we're going to make one page, 3 pockets, fold out. But first, let's have our shout out to Leanne, Vicky, Lala Gamma, Liberty Lost, Sheila, Denise, Carolyn, Lion Under the Stars, and Kay-Ree. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, you guys, so we've got our paper here. It is a cardstock weight. And I have printed only on one side. And this is from Artie Mae's William & Morris. So what we want to do is we want to take our paper and we want to fold it up this way or fold it over. So we've got it the long way and we're folding it over 2 inches. All right. Then we're going to take the other side and we're going to fold it 2.5 inches. So this side is 2 and this side is 2.5. Then what we want to do is turn it this way and we're going to fold it over 2.5 going this way and 2.5 going this way. All right, so then what we want to do is we want to go back to this way. So we've got it the long way and we're on, this is the 2-inch turn. Okay, this was the 2.5 up here. And what we want to do is right here where our creases are, that's where we're going to cut a little bit of a pie shape right at the crease. So I'm going to trim here, and I'm going to trim here. This is how we're going to make our pockets. And we're going to make them so that our pockets will close and it won't be bulky. It's going to cut the bulk out of our pockets. So I'm just going to trim just a shave more right there. Okay, so this is one pocket on this side. And this is going to be the pocket in the middle, and this is going to be the pocket on the end. Now I need to cut this right here, just a sliver of a pie shape. So I'm going to trim it right here and right here. Now I'm going to check to see if that's enough. I think that really will be quite nice. All right, so we've already made our pockets. How fun is that? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark what the center is, or close to what the center is. I always have issues with finding the center, but it's about right there. And then let's do this one. It's about right here. And on the last one, we're right there. So I've marked my center. And I'm going to take my 1-inch hole punch, or circle punch. It's not a hole punch, it's a circle punch. And I'm going to just barely stick it in, just barely stick my paper in, and just take a little notch out of it, just like that. And I'm going to do it on this one, just a little notch, and on this one. Oh, come on, let's get on in. There we go. All right, so now we're all notched out. Now what we want to do is we're going to remove this square and we're going to remove this square, okay? So you can see where the folds are, the fold lines, you can see that. So we're taking that square out and we're taking this square out. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to trim right like this, and I'm going to trim this. All right, now I'm going to trim over here. And I'm going to trim this side. Just like that. All right, so now we look like that. Oh my goodness, isn't that super cool. So what I want to do next is I want to take my corner rounder, and I want to round my flaps corners, those two flaps, and I want to round this corner and this corner right here. So let's do that. All right, so now we have that all rounded. So the next thing I want to do is I want to ink all the way around, and I'm going to use my vintage photo. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got it inked on this side and on this side. Now, I do not have double-sided cardstock. I'm not working with that. And I really don't want it to be so bright white. So I'm going to bring in my StazOn, my black StazOn, and I am going to bring in my large print stamp like this, and I am going to go ahead and ink up. Ooh, it was high-pitched. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to give this a stamp. And if it doesn't stamp everywhere, that's fine. I kind of like that look. I really do think that's pretty that way. So let's do a little bit more further down, just like this. Okay, I think that looks fantastic. I need to do the two sides right here. And I need to do the other side. All right, so now let me put this up, and we will continue. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to glue our pockets together. Now, if you plan on putting thick things into these pockets, I would suggest for you to put in some risers. Just strips of cardstock, the same length as the pockets here, just very narrow, because the wider you make them, the more space you take up, and you won't be able to put very wide things into the pockets. But I'm not going to put a lot of things into these pockets, so I'm just going to use my glue, and I'm going to glue these pockets down directly without putting any risers in. It's gotten cold here, and so my glue doesn't come down as quickly as it usually does. All right, so we'll get some glue right down here on these. One more to go. There we are. Now, yes, it doesn't want to stay shut, does it? How about if we bring in a couple of our paper clips? Oh, I got this big old paper clip in my Happy Mail. I just love it. I've never seen such a large paper clip in my whole life. I think that is fantastic. Now let's see here. I'll get this on here so it will stay glued while we work on the closure. Now we need to put this together here like that. Okay, we're going to need a little closure right here. So what we're going to do is punch out with our 1-inch circle punch. We're going to need two. Actually, I put two together. This is cardstock. I put two of them together, and then I have one that's just separate. Okay, so actually you need three. Glue two of them together to make it firmer, and then the single one with the cardstock is just fine, and you'll see what we're going to do with that in just a second. So let's go ahead and let's get our pokey tool. We're going to need to grab a brad. I think I put one in here somewhere. Here it is, if I can pick that up. Right, there's our brad. I've got a little piece of foam from some packing material. I'm going to lay this back down. I'm going to kind of line it up so I can see where the middle is. I'm going to bring in the one that I glued the two together to make it very firm. And I'm going to place it right in the middle, kind of where I want this. I don't want to put it right on the edge. Bring it up at least a smidgen. That's all I'm going to say. Just bring it up a little bit. I'm going to put my pokey tool and I'm going to poke the center of my circle, which is in the center of my flap. Okay, so I'm just going to poke that right on through. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my brad. Oh, don't lose it, Kathy. And I'm going to put it right in the hole. There we go. We got it right in there. I'm going to turn it over. Oh, for heaven's sakes. And it came right on out. There we go. Then I'm going to open my brad up. And I'm going to smooth it out like that. Then I'm going to take the circle that is just single. And I'm going to put my glue on it. And I'm going to cover up my ends of my brad. I don't like to see that. I just think it really finishes off a piece of ephemera and makes it, to me, look finished. And I just like how it looks. I think that's fantastic. Now you can go ahead and further decorate our little one-page, 3-pocket fold-out. So I think what I'd like to do is I think I'm just going to add, see if this is too big. No, I think that looks beautiful right there. I'm just going to add a little bow from Shabby Dabby Doodah. I do love her little bows. So I'm just going to place it right there like that. Then on this side, let's see, do I have enough room that maybe, let's go ahead and cut some of this off because it's a little too wide to place all of it without trimming. So let's just trim this lace to fit what we have. And I think it will fit right in there. I think I can get it underneath. Now let's put it underneath right now and then put the glue on. I think that might help. So let's get this side done like that. And then let's move over. Now I have two others that I have made that I will show you what they look like. And I put book page inside one of them so you can see if you don't have a stamp that is anything similar to this, or maybe you don't want a stamp, maybe you want to use up some of your book pages, then you most certainly can do that. I do have a label here. I'm not sure if I want a label. Actually, I think I just want it like this. Now, this is just some cording, and I think I'm going to use the blue. And what I like to do is I'm going to place my cording underneath my circle. And if I want to pull it around this way, that's where I want to put my knot under my circle, right down at the bottom. Now, if for some reason I want to pull it around starting at the top and pulling it around, then I'd put my knot at the top. So wherever I'm going to start pulling my cording to close, that's where I'm going to put my knot. So I'm going to just go ahead and put a knot right there at the bottom of my circle underneath it. And I'm just going to do one more time. There we are. And then I'm going to trim. I don't want a tail on this one. And I just like to wrap it around once. I'm not one to wrap it around a lot. Now, if you do, there's no reason why you shouldn't. If you like that, you can put beads on here if you want to make it extra fancy. So I'm just going to make it like that today. And oh my goodness, isn't that adorable? 1 page, 3 pockets. I think these are absolutely fantastic. So I have a pink one here. And this one isn't decorated much either. Now, I used a larger head brad there. I picked a butterfly out of a piece of paper and punched my circle punch, and then I glossy accented my circle. So I don't know if you can tell that, but oh, there you go. It shines, and I think that's really pretty. Inside, I used that same stamp, and I put the bow, and I put pieces of ephemera inside. And like I said, if you're going to put lots of ephemera in there, you might want to think about putting a riser. I did a blue one like this, and I did a little rickrack and a label with some lace. And then this is the one that I chose to put some book page in. So if you don't have a stamp, you could go ahead and put some book page. It looks absolutely beautiful. And oh my goodness, I have so much fun making these. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. I'll see you there. Bye-bye now.